Today we're looking at the 3 underrated real estate lead generation strategies that are working today. And the reason that we're looking at these 3 underrated strategies is because that means that there's a huge opportunity in it for you. Because if you're willing to dig in, each one of these strategies in and of themselves is going to bring you plenty of business, not just today, not just this month, not just this year, but for your entire career if you're willing to dig in and figure out how they work. And the first real estate strategy that is heavily underutilized right now is targeting absentee owners, those individuals that own a property but don't live within it. Now, most of these absentee owners happen to be investors. It's very rare that you find a single resident owner that is actually renting out the property that they own. So most of the individuals that you're going to speak to is an investor. And the reason that this is such an opportunity for you right now to get listings above all things is because these individuals see the property values. They see that they just continue to climb, and they know that this is cyclical. They understand real estate. They understand that real estate itself is cyclical. So at some point, unless they plan to hold it for forever, they will cash out. There's a lot of individuals that are saying that the market is going to crash. Now, whether that's true or not, honestly, I don't know. But that is the sentiment. There is fear in the air. And when there's fear in the air, there's some people that are going to take their ball and go home. So this means that they're going to sell. So if you can reach out to these absentee owners and give them options on how they can cash out in a very smooth and easy way, they might take you up on that offer. Now, there's plenty of websites out there that will give you the answer as to if a property is occupied or not occupied. One of those companies happens to be Remine. Remine is a company that has a lot of different features, but one of the cool features is that it allows you to filter out those properties that are owner occupied or the ones that are not. So whether you decide to pay for the data or go down a more organic way of finding the absentee owners by hand, either strategy is going to work. It just depends on your availability and your budget. But the key important thing here is reach out to those absentee owners, because now is a good time to cash out in most of their eyes. And the second most underrated and underutilized real estate lead generation strategy right now is working with attorneys, having attorneys as your referral partners. They can be probate attorneys, they can be divorce attorneys, it can be other types of attorneys that deal with individuals that are homeowners that have to get rid of their homes. Now let's take divorce as an example. Although it's a very unfortunate event, we understand that half of the marriages end up in divorce. So that is a clientele right then and there that is actively looking for a solution, because many of the times a divorce means that they need to sell their home. And oftentimes a divorce also means that now I have to go buy my own home and I'm going to go buy my own home. So once they go in their separate ways, we're talking about additional transactions. So if you can establish relationships with attorneys, divorce attorneys, by the way, that's a great referral partner to have. And an even more direct example is a probate attorney. A probate attorney deals with family members that are looking to sell their home because the owner of the property, typically a parent or a grandparent, passed away. So they were the owners of the property. Now they have to sell. So in order for the probate process to be completed, most of the time it ends up being a sale to the general public. So that is an opportunity for you to place that property up for sale for the family members that really need it. Now here's the $1 million question. Well, how do I form these attorney referral partners? At the end of the day, understand one thing, that it's a relationship. You need to establish a relationship with these types of attorneys. Now there's multiple ways to establish a relationship. Most of us immediately go to gift giving. Well, I'm gonna go take them coffee. I'm gonna go and give them this. I'm gonna go and give them that. Now, you can go down that route if you so choose, but that is very expensive. And that is really not the route that I suggest. So before you approach any of these attorneys, it's important, it's imperative that you understand what the probate process is and what the divorce process is like. I'm not saying that you yourself have to go to probate or to go through a divorce. What I'm suggesting is that you need to be educated on what needs to happen. You need to be the established real estate professional that specializes in that particular line of real estate. Now, that may or not may be true. Maybe this is the first time that you've ever done probate, but as long as you have the education and can convey that to your attorney, that is how you start getting referrals, not by sending them coffee and gifts, all this other stuff. Again, you can do it, but it's expensive and it very rarely works. what you're trying to convey is that, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Attorney, the moment that you refer me a probate client, I'm going to take care of that. There's going to be no delays. I'm actually going to take a lot of the education piece off of you, and I'm going to educate the family members on what happens next. So again, you're providing convenience and you're giving them their time back. That's what they need. And the third underutilized, underleveraged real estate lead generation strategy that you can target today is senior housing. We have an aging population. This means that there's a lot of individuals that either need to move out of their home to move in with their kids, or some kids need to move in with their elderly parents or grandparents to take care of them, or they need to go into senior housing. They need a solution because they physically cannot take care of an entire home. And this one is near and dear to my heart because, one, I love my parents, so at some point we're going to need to have that conversation of what that needs to look like. If they need to move in with me or I need to move in with them, we're going to need to have that conversation. But beyond that, there's plenty of examples in my short real estate career that this comes up. So I'll just give you one example of a couple that I've been working with for the past 3 years. The husband is ready to go, ready to cash out, ready to sell their home and move to a housing community, but the wife is not. I don't blame either party. I don't. These are just conversations that we have over and over again, and I'm glad to have them because at this point, over the past 3 years, regardless of the commission I stand to make or not make at this point, this is just about helping people. This is about helping that couple in their next transition because this is their only investment. And whatever happens, they've already paid this house outright. And when they sell, we're looking at about right now at the market, if they were to sell today, and the condition that it's in is probably worth $320, if you will. If it was super improved, it'd be well north of 400, probably over 500. But right now, given the condition that only one functioning restroom is available, one functioning bedroom is available, and then of course the kitchen, the rest of it's kind of falling down. So it's this type of solution or this type of help that we need to have for our clients. But anyway, how you work with these senior housing clients is twofold. Either you reach out directly to the homeowner or you reach out to the various types of senior housing options. There's many out there, and what I strongly suggest is that you check out Max Keller. I'll put his information up, that he is an expert in this field. So I would love for y'all to connect and have a conversation on different ways to target those types of facilities altogether. And no, he's not sponsoring this video. I just think very highly of him, and I know that he's very skilled in his craft. So you can check him out and see how to build proximity to the senior housing options and work with those individuals directly to bring you referrals. But what I can share with you on how to target the senior housing clients directly is by taking a page of the previous strategy. So taking note of the individuals that have owned a property for longer than 20 years. So as we discussed in the absentee owner strategy, there are ways to find out information about the homeowner. And also there are ways to identify how long a homeowner has owned that home for. So you can go down the software strategy like using resources like Remine, or reach out directly to your title company, or go to the county appraisal district, so to the CAD website, and see who the homeowners are and how long they've owned the property. So those are all ways to target individuals that have owned a home for a certain amount of time. So this will help you build a great database of the individuals that could use the senior housing option, because right now it is an option. In the very near future, it may end up being a necessity. So you want to help them out in that transition.